Good evening and welcome to a new edition of Business Insider. I'm your host for tonight, Mohammed Abdurrahim. So, we have a ceasefire. We have a 2-week ceasefire. Iran and the United States have agreed to suspend military operations for 2 weeks and give negotiations a chance. And upon the news, the price of the Brent oil crude fell from above $100, fell from around $105 to as low as $92 per barrel, a 13 or 14% decrease, a record good loss for the globe and for the economic causes globally and for peace. But today, we discovered that this 2-week ceasefire will be very challenging to uphold. As we speak, the Brent price has gone back to $96. So not really, very dangerous, because the $100 mark is usually the benchmark that indicates whether the markets believe that the ceasefire will hold or peace will prevail, or whether turbulence will hit back. So we're not there at 100 yet. We're still at 96. That's up from 92. But breaches by Israel of the ceasefire and conflicting views coming from the two sides of the agreement. The Iranians say that Lebanon should have been, it was included in the agreement, and the Pakistani mediator, and specifically the Pakistani ambassador in Washington, says that Lebanon was included in the ceasefire agreement. But U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who will be the lead negotiator for the U.S., and the Saturday slated direct talks between the Americans and the Iranians in Islamabad, says that the Iranians, misunderstood the situation, and that Lebanon was not part of the ceasefire agreement. There are also conflicting reports about the status of the Strait of Hormuz and whether Iran is fully opening the strait or, playing with it. And the American Vice President has said recently, in the past hour or so, that it's up to the Iranians to uphold the ceasefire. Of course, the Iranians say that the ceasefire has been breached by the Israelis in Lebanon, but the U.S. Vice President is saying it's going to be up to the Iranians to uphold the ceasefire and to leave the Strait of Hormuz fully open. And he also says that the more concessions the Iranians will give to Americans, the more they will get from the Americans. So he's throwing the court back and the ball back in the court of the Iranians. We'll see what will happen in these 2 weeks, and the challenge now seems is going to be how to uphold this ceasefire. Of course, Israel, the first one to violate it, and really a genocide day in Lebanon today, reminiscent of the genocide war that Israel had launched in Gaza. Israel today killing nearly 300 Lebanese civilians mainly, and hitting the center of Beirut, hitting Beirut like it hasn't been hit since the 1982 invasion by Israel of Lebanon. With us now here in the studio is engineer Omar Awad Hussein. He's a former presidential candidate in the brotherly state of Sudan. He's a political, economic, and also strategic expert. Engineer Hussein, thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to be talking, Engineer Hussein and dear viewers, tonight about the geopolitics and maritime choke points. And when you say maritime choke points, that the Strait of Hormuz, it seems to have been the biggest weapon for Iran and the biggest card for Iran in this war. The card that allowed a much weaker military to face up to the strongest military in the world, and then and its regional bully, the executor of war crimes in Gaza, and now attacking Lebanon. It allowed the Iranians to stand up to America and Israel, and to finally reach a deal. Who's the winner, who's the loser? I guess this will be discussed for long times, and years down the line there will be different views as to who won and who lost. But in any case, at least at the moment, we have a ceasefire, not in Lebanon, but between the Iranians and the Americans, and at least we're saving lives now. And saving also the global economy for the moment, and the challenge will be how to uphold this ceasefire. Engineer Hussein, dear viewers, allow us first to watch a report about our main topic for tonight, geopolitics and the maritime choke points. When we come back, we'll start our Q&A session. Please stay with us.
The ongoing U.S.-Israeli war on Iran is significantly reshaping trade and industrial activity across Egypt and the Middle East region. Escalating tensions have disrupted global energy markets, driving up oil and gas prices and increasing transportation and production costs. Strategic shipping routes, particularly the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea, are witnessing instability, leading to delays in supply chains and higher insurance costs for cargo. In Egypt, the impact is evident in rising import bills, especially for fuel and essential commodities, placing additional pressure on the state budget and foreign currency reserves. Key sectors such as manufacturing, petrochemicals, and logistics are facing operational challenges due to higher input costs and slower trade movement. Egyptian exports are also affected by weak and regional demand and logistical bottlenecks. Across the Middle East, industrial output is declining as countries struggle with disrupted supply chains and limited access to raw materials. Inflationary pressures are increasing while foreign investments are becoming more cautious amid uncertainty. Overall, the conflict threatens economic stability, trade flows and growth prospects in Egypt and the wider region.
Thank you for staying with us. Many thanks to Abir Hussein for this report. And we're back here in the studio with Engineer Omar Awad Hussein, the former presidential candidate in the brotherly state of Sudan and the strategic, political and economic expert. Now, Engineer Hussein, first of all, I want a comment from you on the developments of the situation regarding the ceasefire. First of all, reaching the ceasefire, and then now the challenge to uphold the ceasefire and the conflicting, views that we're getting from all sides. Yesterday we heard the U.S. President saying that the 10 points that were presented by Iran are a good basis for negotiations. Today we're hearing the White House spokeswoman saying, that Mr. Trump threw that paper in the garbage when he saw it. So, I mean, what's going on? And Lebanon, the Iranians say it was part of the deal. The Pakistanis also say so, but the Americans now say that there was a misunderstanding about that.
Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me to their channel.
Thank you for being here.
And also, I would like to say that this is a good point that the ceasefire we have reached it not only for the Iranian and the American, but definitely for all the Gulf area and for all the world. Because during the last period, the world was suffering from the rise of the oil, from the energy, and everyone.
Food prices as well.
Yeah, exactly. Food prices and energy and everything, and people were putting their hands in their heart because we don't know how things are going to happen. And maybe we're going to get the war to the Third World War. I think the Iranian government have done well till now. They have survived, but they learned the lesson very well, and they put the priority for their country and their infrastructure for their country as a priority, and not taking the Persian Empire as they should stay to the end, and because you know, if they didn't accept the points, the negotiation with the American president, with the American government, this will be like suiciding themselves, killing themselves. But this point, I think this is a good for the region, for the Gulf, for all the countries, for all the world, that ceasefire taking for 2 weeks. Okay, taking for 2 weeks.
The challenge now.
The challenge. Now we come for the challenge. And this is one of the points, the 10 points that the Iranians have sent it, that they were afraid that Americans will not keep their words for the points. And as you said before, that the White House spoke, lady, she said that Trump took the 10 points, the papers, and he saw it. And this is the conflict, and this is the problem between the Iranian and the American. The Americans, they don't keep their promises, they don't keep their agreements to the point. And when we were all the world were looking at them this morning for the agreement, we heard and we were sure that Lebanon is with the agreement. Ceasefire will be in Iran and in Lebanon. But the point, who is controlling the war? This is the main point. Who's the control? The Israeli state is controlling. They think, okay, if the Americans are going to stop in Iran, we have to finish this with Hezbollah. And we know that the Israeli state is a genocide regime.
Yes.
I hope, I hope these people will find a way out. The EU instead, let's put the American beside, and we hope that the EU, and especially the French president, he have to work much harder about this, and the Arab League, they have to work much harder on this.
And the Arab League has condemned, of course, today the Israeli violations in Lebanon. Egypt has also condemned the Israeli attack on Lebanon. And they have both welcomed, Egypt and the Arab League, both welcomed the ceasefire, of course, deal. Yeah.
Of course, because Egypt, one of the 4 countries who's running for the ceasefire, for the agreement.
Pakistan, Turkey,
and Saudi and Turkey. Yeah. So I think Egypt is playing a good role, and this is not strange for it, because from very long time, wherever there is a conflict, you will find the Egyptians prime minister or the Egyptian Minister of Affairs, Mr. Abdelmati, is at the beginning stage, trying to solve the problems. And Alhamdulillah, we think, I have been watching him sitting with Putin, with Mr. Putin, and I have been to Turkey, I have been to a lot of countries, like moving all around to...
Yeah, he was in Kuwait this morning, expressing solidarity, of course, with the brotherly state of Kuwait and all Arab Gulf countries in these circumstances. Yeah, very active. Yeah, very active. Foreign minister, very active diplomacy for Egypt, indeed, the regional cornerstone of stability and security. Engineer Hussein, before we talk about geopolitics and the maritime choke points, the main, of course, topic of our program, of course, there are examples like Hormuz, is the example of today. But I wanted to ask you about 2 things. First of all, about Sudan and about Gaza. Gaza was forgotten a little bit in the Iran war and the 38 or 39 days, and today Israel assassinated yet another journalist in Gaza, yet another Palestinian journalist in Gaza, reminding us of the genocide practices and also, of course, a genocide again practice in Lebanon today by Israel. So I wanted to ask you about Gaza and also about Sudan. How is Sudan faring at the moment? Because, you know, Egypt has not forgotten Sudan, and you know that even during the 38, 39 days of the war, we were hearing, speaking of Dr. Abdul-Ati, every other day he was speaking to the Americans and to other international parties about Sudan and about the necessity of upholding state institutions of Sudan and rejecting the dividing of Sudan, and the territorial integrity and sovereignty, and calls for a humanitarian ceasefire, and calls for a political settlement to the issue, and of course condemnation of all acts of militias and paramilitary groups there. So what's the situation in Sudan like? Just a word about Gaza and about Sudan, please, at the moment.
Okay, as we all know, after the war have started against Iran on the 28th of February, I think all the media and all the world was targeting and concerning about this war, because it's not a small conflict, you know, with two small countries. This is like the great country, Americans and the Israeli state, and this is Iran,
a great civilization, by the way.
Great, yeah.
And you cannot kill a great civilization.
Yeah, exactly.
No one can.
Yeah. The Persian Empire. We all know how was it powerful.
The U.S. president was criticized for these statements, even at home, even in America, even from members of his party, the Republican Party. You cannot say, I'm going to wash civilization like that. You don't do that. Yeah. You can't.
But, you know, but the Trump, I think President Trump, he's running a different way of, he's a different president to the American people. Even to the American people, they feel that this is something strange. He's not a diplomatic president. He don't know how to speak. Because his background is coming from the business side or trading side.
And ask French President Emmanuel Macron about this, because he said exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. So what's the situation like in Sudan at the moment?
Now the situation in Sudan, I think, after this war, we are doing good still now. There is nothing new came up to the grid to. So
the relative calm.
Still there is fighting is happening. RSF is controlling Darfur, and some conflicts is happening here in Blue Nile, and from time to time, and they used to send the drones from time to time to different areas.
What about the humanitarian situation?
The UN missions have started sending the humanitarian aids to Darfur and to some areas, and before 3 or 4 days, our government, they said they will open the border between Chad and Sudan, so to allow the humanitarian to go inside for the Darfuri people. I think things are going fine till now.
In the right direction. You're starting to be optimistic about getting a solution further down the line?
Further down, and even now in the government, our president, Mr. Burhan, have now he removes his vice president and the charge in the army, and now they are running to do the parliament law and the institution, all these things. Yes. And now we are going the right track. But unless the war have stopped, this will be a serious problem. Khartoum now, the government moves from Port Sudan to Khartoum, the whole government, all the UN missions, all the diplomatic missions, or let's say majority of them back to Khartoum. But the people didn't go back yet there. The electricity have come back, the water now there is safe. The people start feeling safe. But still now the life is not easy there, because as you know, this is a war for more than 3 years. Everything is destroyed.
Yeah, and where life is also very hard is in Gaza, and Egypt didn't forget Gaza, even again in the 38, 39 days of the Iran war, and every single day Egypt was talking diplomatically and politically about the situation in Gaza. How do you see the situation in Gaza at the moment, with Israel every day breaching the ceasefire deal, killing Palestinians, preventing aid as much as they can, assassinating people, including media figures like today?
I think this is the way how Israel have to used to treat the people, especially the Arabs, especially the Muslims, and this is the way no one can stop them, and they don't give any respect, and they don't give any respect to the international law, to the international community. They want to do what they want to do. Killing people for them is nonsense. But from their side, they think that these people are making threat to them, so it is easy to kill them. For those people who are working in the press, media, or the channels, killing them. If we remember a very long time before the October.
Shireen Abu Akleh?
Shireen Abu Akleh. And no one has, the UN, they said.
Yeah, the problem is no one holds Israel accountable.
They cannot stand.
And even when the ICC, the International Criminal Court, wanted Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, to face the war crime charges, nobody is able.
They can't get him. While in Africa, the Americans were going to send their planes, and they have to take, especially now what's happening in Venezuela. They go and take the president from his palace.
But Iran wasn't Venezuela.
No, this is the point that the American fault. Trump, he saw that Iran's like Venezuela, but this is, as I say, this is the great empire, and he mismanaged the idea. He thought that they will suicide very shortly with it, as he said at the beginning, 3-4 days. But now they proved, even I'm not talking about the army or the government, even the people of they came together of
a lot of steadfastness.
They forgot all about what is happening from their people.
And the differences
from
with the government.
Exactly.
It's their country.
Definitely.
We're going to talk about the geopolitics and the maritime choke points, but a lot of important developments took us away from this. But one final thing, I mean, many people in this region, this part of the world, the heart of the world, the Middle East, Dr. Hussein, believe that Israel is the #1 source of terror and evil in the world. And not Iran, like the US President says. It's Israel that's the #1 source of terror and evil in the world. Would you agree with such a view by many people in this part of the world?
It is as simple as this. Who started the attacking? Who attacked the other? The Israeli have attacked the Iranian people. Iranian people are doing a nuclear system. They need, like, for peace. They want to use it as a nuclear. To generate the power. They say no, they are planning to do the nuclear bombs or the nuclear weapons. Okay, Israel is having nuclear weapons, and we all know this. Why don't you let these people have the chance to develop their countries? They are making sanctions in Iran. They are making sanctions in Iran, making a lot of things, and of course the main point: who is controlling this? The Israeli people is controlling. They have the great lobby in the American government, and that's why they drag Trump to this war.
Yes,
we can find this genocide in Gaza. We have it in Lebanon.
70,000 people plus were killed, mostly civilians,
in
mostly
Gaza.
women and children.
In Gaza.
Genocide. The ICC wants the war crime Israeli Prime Minister.
Until now, they don't want to even to let the humanitarian aid to go inside, and they don't. They still, I think, till now they have the conflict about Rafah gates, either to open it. No, let this go inside. Don't let the medicine. Don't let the people go from there to come to have medicine.
The Israelis are masters of breaching deals, of violating deals.
From the history, my friend, from the history, these people, they kill the messengers.
Geopolitics and the maritime choke points. Hormuz proved that it is a choke point, and it was very important in the war. It wasn't a problem before the war. It became one during the war, and the opening of Hormuz is the thing that allowed a ceasefire. So talk to us about this very interesting phenomenon, geopolitics and maritime choke points, and the economic geopolitics.
as we all know,
warfare.
Yeah, as we all know that what was behind the nuclear and ballistic missiles, this is not the war is coming actually around this, but all the war now is concerning, I think the war now is concerning about three main things, as we said before.
Oil, one of them?
Oil, obviously the energy and the food security, and the third one is the mines,
the rare minerals.
Rare minerals, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Iran, of course, we all know that Iran is having sending more than 20% of the oil to the world or through Hormuz Strait with the Gulf countries inside. So it's have the right, of course, if you are coming and attacking it, and these people, there is no balance between the two powers, between Iran and Israel and America on the other side. So if you are putting me in a corner, what do you expect from me? Definitely, I will find anything to stop. I'm not supporting Iran for hitting the neighbors countries in the Gulf, but this was from the beginning was like
that was condemned by everyone, and Egypt, of course, was very clear and vocal about this.
Yeah, but I think from the beginning, Iranian government is trying to send a message to the international community that if the war have started in Iran, this will be the effect which will affect all the region, all the area, and this is what have exactly happened.
It affected the whole world.
The whole world. Yeah. Another thing, there is some politicians they're saying Iran was not hitting this neighbor. It's trying to hit the bases, the military bases inside these countries at the beginning of the war. But when they send it and they shoot their missiles, they shoot it down. Then once it falls, it affected the people of the Gulf people, and then the media have exaggerated the thing that Iran is hitting these people. But the good thing is that the Gulf countries have controlled themselves and didn't drag into this war.
They showed a lot of self-restraint.
Yeah. Of course, as we know, all we know that the price of the oil have been shooting up very high. And this
is to 120 plus.
120 plus, and this has affected not only who is selling the oil, but affecting Europe, affecting Africa, and affecting Asia, especially China, because the reserve for China was, as they say in the media, they have the reserve under the ground for about 80 days. Now 30-something days have been passed, yani. And Trump was thinking that he will do it the same as he did with Venezuela. He controls the oil dollar, and he will come and control the oil here. This man is running after the money.
He probably still is, because today when you listen to Mr. J.D. Vance, the Vice President, saying that the more concessions, the words of Mr. Vance, the more concessions the Iranians will give, the more the Americans will give them, he's probably oil is somewhere there. And Mr. Trump didn't hide it. He said more than once that his preferred solution is to take this oil, overtake or share it or develop it with.
I think another thing also, because Iran and Venezuela, because that's who is giving oil to India and China. Yeah, thank you. So China is shooting very high in the economics and in the business, and they are doing great things.
Speaking of China,
to stop.
Yeah, speaking of China, valve, sorry for interrupting, and sorry for but we have to talk about the war. After all, U.S. President Donald Trump says that he believes that it was China who pressured Iran or convinced Iran to sit for the talks and open the Strait of Hormuz. Do you agree with that theory?
Yeah, this is true. I'm sure of it, because China now situation is very bad. China is consuming 14 million barrels per day. In 1973, after
the October victory,
China was consuming, I think, about 450,000 only barrels per day. But with this expansion in the industry and doing all these things, China is buying the rare minerals from countries with a very huge small amount, remanufacture it and sell it to Europe and sell it to the American people. So Trump, he discovered this is I have to find a way out. he go to Argentina, he go to Indonesia, and he pays them billions of dollars and say, okay, I will take this from the ground for me, don't give it to the China. So because
And he wants Greenland for that as well.
Greenland, this is another for the military base, and for also, you know, all the airlines are going through Greenland.
Yeah, and rare minerals and materials were discussed with Ukraine many times. Yeah. We were trying to recollect. When the Ukrainians wanted anything from the Americans, they said, okay,
give us the minerals, I will supply with the weapons.
And speaking of China again, and going back to Beijing, they will, or they should, or they probably would play a big role in upholding the ceasefire. The Chinese. Yeah. They still have, because it was China and Pakistan, remember, that came up with the 5-point initiative. That seemed to get the ball moving and to reach a ceasefire.
From the beginning.
So to uphold the ceasefire, wouldn't you agree that the Chinese must continue to be involved?
Because, you know, Iran is standing in the side with Russia and China. This is the main big countries are supporting. Only the two countries actually supporting Iran, not supporting in the way of that's people say that this is a terrorist country, but supporting in their nuclear science, in their development, taking the oil from it, and
a lot of trade, a lot of
and because the sanctions against Iran and taking the Iran from the SWIFT, so they used to sell to deal with the yuan, Chinese or the Russian currency,
trying to defeat the petrodollar, right?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately our time is up, but I think that we must discuss and that we will inshallah discuss this issue again with Engineer Omar Awad Hussein, the former presidential candidate in Sudan and the strategic economic and political expert. Strait of Hormuz, everybody now knows Hormuz around the world, even 12-year-olds. So we'll discuss it again, geopolitics and maritime choke points. It will remain a very important point for a very long time. Thank you very much, Engineer Hussein. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching us. Please stay with Nile TV.